Hey everybody, it's Becky from Fish Like a Girl. What I'd like to talk to you today about a little bit is jig fishing. I'm going to show you some jigs. They're Super K Jigs. You can check out all of Super K's jigs on their website, superkjigs.com. Jigs I'm going to show you today, I'm going to start out with a basic flipping jig. This is just your regular black jig. Cool thing about black is that you can put a variety of different color trailers on to suit what kind of water you're in or what the fish are after, that sort of thing. So black is always a real favorite of mine. I'll show you a couple of things about these jigs. First thing I want you to see right here, all these jigs are hand tied. It's hand tied right there. Gamakatsu hooks, big hooks, super sharp hooks. Definitely going to be able to get a hook set with this. And there's these little keepers right here. These are awesome because you're not going to go through as many baits, as many trailers. Holds them on the hook real good. So that's pretty cool. And also, each weed guard that is made is epoxied in. So you don't have to worry about this coming apart. These jigs are not going to come apart, basically, is what I'm telling you. Greg Kazuski's owner of Super K Jigs. He's been doing this a while. Super nice guy, super knowledgeable about jig fishing. So this is your regular flipping jig. And he can make pretty much any color that you want. If it's something that you've seen ever or that you've come up with on your own, Greg should be able to make it for you. This guy here is one of my favorites. His name is Old Red. We call him Old Dude. It's got the red in it. It's got a little bit of purple in it, but it's got the watermelon red, which is one of my favorite colors. I seem to catch an awful lot of fish on that. One of the things that I do with this particular color is I'll put a secret weapon. This is Secret Weapon Baits. SecretWeaponBaits.com is Mike Hoffman's website. I'll take one of these raging craws, he calls them, and take the back half almost completely off. So you have just this little guy here. And thread that on. It's a perfect color match for this particular jig color. When you thread these on, you want to make sure that you get it straight, for one thing, and thread it onto the plastic, onto the hook far enough that it's going to go from here to here, and this is where the hook is going to be exposed again, because you want this to be completely straight. So you're going to stick that on there, move it around to the bottom of the bait, and if you don't get it straight, rethread it to make sure. And now you can see that's going to go right over that hook keeper, and that's going to keep that bait on there. And as you can see, it's straight on there. You want to make sure that it's straight. That way it'll give it a more natural look. It'll fall better. It'll come through cover better. It's just going to look a whole lot better if you can get it on there straight. That one's not perfectly straight, but you kind of get the idea. Okay, so this is a flippin' jig. Again, this is a color that we had Greg make for us. It's black, and then it's got a little green pumpkin blue in it. This jig we've had a lot of success with in a lot of different colored water, but mostly I'll use this on. I've used this on a bunch of flowages really effectively, and just kind of a good all-around bait, because it is obviously, the clearer your water is, the more natural colors you want. The darker your water is, blacks and blues are good. Brighter colors are good. This works in both applications, which is kind of cool. Okay, next thing I'm going to talk to you about is football head jigs. If you're not familiar with a football head jig, it looks kind of like that. Looks like a football. This particular color is called Smalley. This is a super awesome color because of the variety of different colors that are in it. Gives you a lot of options for different trailers and things like that. The thing about a football head jig is, like your regular jigs, as they're going along the bottom, you can hop them across the bottom and work them in a variety of different ways. The thing with this is you can do the same things with it, but it's going to act different in the water. What's going to happen when it hits the water, it's going to stand up a little bit, so your bait's going to be up here. You're going to have, your claws or legs or whatever kind of bait you're using are going to be up a little bit, and as you pull this, it's going to rock. So it gives it a totally different action kind of deal. This is good for rocks. This is good for sand, things like that. Obviously, because of this head, it's going to get snagged up in the wood a little bit more, but nothing comes through wood perfectly. So this is football head jigs. We use those quite a bit. This one here is a green pumpkin purple, and this is really good for when you're looking for a little bit more natural colors, when you're in a little clearer water, that sort of thing. I usually run a Yamamoto twin tail in the same color, green pumpkin purple on this one. And this is basically the same color as I showed you before in the old red, but in a football head. So those are the football head jigs. Next thing I'm going to talk to you about is swim jigs. Swim jigs are an awesome bait. They can be fished like a regular jig, but they also allow you to cover more water. They have a little bit different style head on them, obviously. And once again, Super K Jigs, these are all epoxied in. You've got hand-tied. Everything on here is hand-tied. He does these one at a time. I've been to his shop and watched him make these. A lot of care goes into each and every one of them. They're not going to come apart on you. Really, really good high-quality stuff. Again, big Gamakatsu hook, super sharp. Got the little keeper on there. The thing with this jig is, like I said, you can cover a lot of water with it. You can, as far as a trailer, a single tail grub works well. Twin tail or double tail grub works well. Anything. This is kind of going to be more of a bait fish imitation. So obviously you want to match what bait fish are in the lake, and you also you want to match the colors, you want to match the sizes, that sort of thing. He's got a bunch of different weights, so it's going to allow you to get through the whole water column. If you put a grub on the back of these, when you thread the grub on, if you have the tail of the grub facing up, that's going to let you go lower in the water column. And if you put the tail of the grub down, it's going to raise the bait up a little bit. So you have some options, even with some variable things you can do even with the same weight. This one is good for, this trifecta is good for, once again, clearer lakes where you need more natural colors. Really dark lakes, you might want to use, say, a white flash with a white grub. Now, not only is this white, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has these little silver guys in here. That gives it more flash in the water. These also act a little bit different, which is kind of cool. If you're looking for a crappie sort of color, we have one of those. Greg has one of those as well. Super good baits, like I said, for covering a lot of water. You can work them like a regular jig. You can swim them like a crankbait. You can do pretty much anything with those. So swim jigs are pretty cool if you haven't tried them in the past. Last thing I want to talk to you about is these little finesse jigs. These little guys here, these, once again, can make pretty much any color that you could ever possibly think of. You have your black and orange here. You have some chartreuse. These are great for spawning fish, pre-spawn, whatever. Anytime that your craws are small, you can use a small little jig too. And of course, watermelon red. Once again, my personal favorite color. But yeah, these are good jigs, and these are football heads also. You can probably see that. These are good jigs for any time you're looking for a little bit smaller presentation. Finesse jigs, football finesse jigs. And yeah, obviously you're going to be using a smaller trailer, but it still has super sharp hook, still has the keeper on there, so your trailers are not going to come off. You're going to be able to not go through as many as in your day on the water. So those are basically the kind of jigs I wanted to show you today. You can check them all out at superkjigs.com. Once again, he's got, I can't even tell you how many different styles and different sizes of jigs. Basically, if you have a question about jigs, if you have a question about colors, anything like that, Greg's the guy to go to, Greg Kazuski at superkjigs.com. Go ahead and check him out. Thanks.